All right, folks. Well, today we're going to get started on working on the 2013 JKU here. I suspect we've got a leaking oil cooler. It's presenting itself as a leaking rear main seal. I feel like it's probably this defective oil coolers that these Jeeps are kind of known for. So we've got it pulled in the garage, and well, it's hard to get into with the height and, of course, the bull bar bumper. So I'm going to pull the front tires off. We're going to let this thing squat to the ground and see if that helps out. So I'm going to do that right now, and we'll be back to kind of see what's going on. All right, as you can see, we got the 40s off the front. We got this thing squatting to about as low as we can get to before the jack hits the steering. And got our hood flipped up. Got a little bit of towel up here so we don't scratch things up. And then, you know, I take my my platforms and I kind of build myself a walkway. And typically we're working on bigger trucks here, you know, F-250s and excursions and stuff. And so we use these platforms quite a bit just to be able to get up into the hoods. In this case, I got the Jeep squatted down. I got these up here. I think it's going to make it pretty easy to kind of get in here, lean over a little, and we should be ready to rock and roll and get this thing tore down. Our goal is to change this guy. To do that, we got to get this upper intake off, the lower intake, the fuel injection rails, and a whole gob of wires and mess and shit. So we'll be back if we find anything interesting. There's already some really good videos on how to do this. We'll just try to highlight anything we find that is maybe helpful tips, and we'll go from there. Thanks. All right, good morning. Today we're going to do a cold start on our 2019 Power Wagon with the 6.4 Hemi. This truck's been at the dealer for pretty much exactly 1 month because we took it in because honestly it knocks louder on a cold start than my 6-liter diesel. So anyway, they've had it for a month. They told us to come pick it up because Chrysler isn't bothering to return their emails, and they need an engineer to come listen to it before they can figure out how they might fix it. But they have no idea when this person might come, and have no plans for actually making that happen. So anyway, a month later, I figured I'll start her up. We'll see what it sounds like. Maybe they fixed it and just didn't tell us. Wait for it. Usually it takes a second. Then it gets good. Oh yeah, now we're getting there. Alright, so, I mean, obviously, that's not what a brand new truck is supposed to sound like. I'm posting this out here. I want to see if anyone else is having this problem, if anyone's had this issue with this 6.4 liter, and if so, did you end up getting Chrysler or Ram to do something to fix this problem? Thanks for listening. Alright, well, we're back at it out here. We got some parts ordered. Got our new oil cooler today. Got everything cleaned out. Got the surfaces initially wiped down. You know, get this thing, basically got all the valley cleaned out with the shop vac and a little piece of hose. Still waiting on my spark plugs. I'm going to do those while I'm in here. Biggest thing that, you know, I told you guys there's a lot of videos. I following the steps, you know, pretty much from the YouTube channel, It's a Jeep World. These guys do about a 33-minute video on this oil cooler swap out. It's excellent, so go check that. They got all the torque specs in there. Everything's in there. I'll say number one thing that I either didn't pay close enough attention to or whatever the deal is, but when it come time to drain some radiator fluid, I couldn't get the lower radiator hose off. With this bumper, I can't get to my petcock on the bottom of the radiator, so I took the hose off of the thermostat here. Definitely was not low enough. I ended up with coolant running everywhere, going all over. I had a pan underneath here just because. Went all over. It was all over the garage floor. I had to mop it up. Now, of course, you know, when we're done, I'm gonna have to, you know, get the soap out, wash the whole garage floor up, get it back to, you know, somewhat presentable. So make sure you get a lower point when you're draining the coolant out of this thing, because that sucked. That's a mess. I mean, luckily, probably some of it went into the oil here. I'm changing the oil during this whole thing anyway. I was already at oil, and I have no idea, you know, what the level was because this cooler was leaking. The other thing I want to do is give a safety bulletin real quick. You can see here, this is my wheel spacer. This is the first time I've had this wheel off this Jeep since I bought it. And some douche canoe just took his 100 billion foot-pound air wrench and cross-threaded 2 of the threads on here. So now I got to pull this thing apart, try to press these studs out, see if I can find some replacements. So, guys, do yourself a favor. Just take an extra 2 seconds. Get that lug nut started by hand or with the socket before you know, throw the 600 foot-pound wrench on there. And, you know, if it's tight or it's cross-threaded, it's good is a bullshit thing. This is a bunch of work that no one should have to do. I know it was probably a guy at a tire shop somewhere who don't give a shit, and it just really bothers me. So take the extra 2 seconds, do it right, and you save a guy like me a whole lot of hassle when he picks up a used truck and has to do the work on it. Anyway, we're going to get this thing bolted back together. If we find anything else that's that we've screwed up or made as a bad choice, like the coolant, I'll update you. In the meantime, I'm going to go do some bolts. All right, folks. Well, we got the Jeep wrapped up. We got the oil cooler in, and like I said before, you know, other than the antifreeze, that went pretty good. Changed out the spark plugs while we were in there. Ended up with one boot that wouldn't come off on the back. Had to get some needle nose in there and tear that out. Had to get some new boots. Got the tires back on, the big 40s. On this one, we ended up having to put a new wheel spacer in because, you know, remember the guy was nice enough to wreck everything with the thing. But while we were in here, we took a couple minutes and put our ARB twin air in, and routed a hose down out the grill with a quick connect, using a balloon to keep this thing clean so that we can be out in the trail doing whatever we want, and when we're done, slide the balloon off or break the balloon. Jesus. And go to town. We're doing our first test of our Moreflate, sorry. We dropped the tires down to 21.5 here. Got our lines connected up, all 4, so these tires are fully balanced. This is our first time doing this, but what we really want to do is we want to get to a place we're going to see how this twin air does pumping these 40s back up. So we're going to let these down to 20, and then we're going to run from 20 to 30 and see how long it takes. We'll be back.
Want to go to
All right, we're 2 minutes in. We're going to see what we got. All right,
18.
at 2 minutes, we've gained 8.4 pounds because we took these down to 10. Wow. And folks, that's compressor. That's how loud it is. Not bad. So let's see, if we gained 8.5 pounds in 2 minutes, and we need to gain 20 pounds, we're only going to be looking at 5 minutes to air up 40s from 10 pounds to 30. We'll see. We'll be back in a minute. Alright, we're coming up on 4 minutes. We actually started the Jeep, which invalidates our whole test, because now the compressor is just rolling. So I think it's going to be super fast now. Here we go, 4 minute mark. About 25 pounds in 4 minutes. That's what's stopping it twice, and for the first 2.5 minutes the Jeep wasn't started. I think we can air up from 10 pounds to 30 in these 40s in 4 minutes with this twin air, which is pretty incredible. All in 5 minutes, 10 pounds to 40 pounds with the twin air. Super happy with that compressor. The Morphlate line system that I bought is awesome, so props to those guys too. See you guys soon.